Well, first, just want to say thanks to our players, our coaches. I thought they put in another great work week. Took one day at a time. Explained to them in the locker room the only way you get to this point is if you just truly do focus on that task. The way this league lays out and to play the games that we have to play, if you try to jump to the end, you're never going to get there where you want to be. So credit to them. Give a lot of credit to LSU. Obviously, hard-fought game and came out and swinging as well. I thought our guys responded well after, the fumble there early. Our defense really responded well after last week. I had a feeling they would. Anytime Rob and that staff has that much time to kind of stew on things a little bit, I knew they would respond very well. I don't even know how many Fournette ended up with at the end, but I knew we'd tackle well and do some things. Even when he started rolling a little bit in that third quarter, I knew we'd shut that off and really try to make it a game where they beat us in the air. I can't say enough about my offensive coaches, Coach Enos, and our coaches just have really focused in on who our playmakers are. They've done a tremendous job of getting the ball in their hands. Just a simple play not a simple play, but the play that Jared kind of broke the game open at the end. To see him run that and to see Dominique Reed block that guy down on the 10-yard line for like 30 seconds. I guarantee Dominique Reed didn't come to Arkansas to block, I'll tell you that. But he does it because he's bought in. He loves it. It's an absolutely fun time to be around. So injury-wise, I don't think we had anything too serious. Cody Hauser, we'll get him in the game plan. We're playing really well at wideout, but he practiced really well Wednesday and Thursday, so we should get him involved in the game plan a little bit more. I know Rohan checked out, but I think he actually went back in, and if not, he was cleared to go back in. So really haven't missed anybody in that regard. So, and to our fans, that was awesome right there at the end. See a lot of Arkansas people out there smiling ear to ear to get 2 in a row on LSU, especially with one over here at night. What we heard about all week truly does, I think, represent what we're all about.
How big a boost was that, the Dominique Reed play and Alex?
Dominique's first play, yeah, it was huge. Dominique can take something to turn a little bit of something into a lot, and he's probably, in my opinion, when you go to defend us, the one thing that's changed from year one, year two, is to have a guy with that kind of ability, with that type of speed, that hopefully can give us the ability to go get a couple more just like him, because he can change the game in an instant. Alex hit a little inside power play with a little bit of ghost motion. I think part of that is because the wide receiver is in motion, which takes that linebacker's eyes off the field that he needed to fill, and turns a routine play into a big hit. So a lot of really good design right there that I think comes from both players and coaches.
Brady had a bunch of sacks.
Yeah.
What was the difference?
I was tired of you writing about pressure. About that. No. I think Roy's done a nice job. Just continues to make our guys keep coming. Last year our main pressure guys were Darius and Trey, and just took guys a while to keep coming along and believe that they're the guys. They were getting close. I thought we did a nice job of keeping him in the pocket as well. So even if he did escape for a minute, he didn't escape with free yardage, and a lot of fun to watch.
And Weiss had like 3 sacks.
Dietrich had a really nice week of practice. He seems focused. Everybody knows he's as good as you can possibly look. I mean, he looks exactly like an SEC defensive end is supposed to look like, and he's done a really nice job of growing into maturity-wise. I think someone that we can probably count on in the future. That's the thing I've probably seen since our bye week, is just guys taking a step in maturity. All the different things that we ask them to do during practice and during the week of taking that next step, to become a good player, and he's taking it.
Was it nice to see Dre and Brooks Ellis combine on that forced fumble and then the pickup?
I just think those two guys have big play material, and it's kind of fun to see them both, obviously from Fayetteville High and all that goes into it. But we've been just kind of short on a couple of those breaks, and that one was a huge one. I didn't know if it was going to go upstairs to get reviewed because I didn't know if his arm was coming forward or not, but obviously it was all clear and ready to roll.
You said something to Alex after the fumble, and then Jamal got into him a little bit there, and then he comes back. Just the sequence there for him to come back.
Yeah, Alex responds to challenges, man. He's a fighter. I love him to death. He's a kid that I think is giving us his all every day, every way. He's absolutely doing awesome in the classroom, which I think is like even better indicator of that he's got his head on straight. Like I just keep telling him, I'm going to keep harping on you. I'm going to keep riding you. I jumped him pretty hard there. I basically said, hey, either hang on the ball and do what he missed the protection, to be quite honest, is why Jamal was really getting on him. We scored a touchdown, but could have been a big play going the other way. And I just said, either get your mind right or we're going to find another option. He responded right.
Of this program, 3 years ago, you had a heartbreaking loss here, and now you come back and you're one of the hottest teams in the country. Just talk about the progression of the program.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think the one thing that other than the Alabama game my first year when they handed it to us, I don't ever remember really just the South Carolina game got away a little bit my first year. But, when you come to play Arkansas, I want you to know that you're in a street fight. It's not going to come easy. We're going to play, and we're going to play longer than a lot of people want to play. I think what we put on film stands out. I think we can begin to get a little bit of respect in our league before we even take the field now. And, it's fun about where we're going, to be quite honest, because this really helps us in recruiting. This has been an area that we've really tried to hit pretty hard. Louisiana, Michael's done a great job, but we spend a lot of time in here during our bye week and even yesterday in here. So our program is heading in the right direction. I think you can see that. And from the outside world, we're still probably just a 6-4 football team, but I know where we're at. I know where we're going. I know the kind of kids we're going to continue to bring in here and attitude we're going to breed, and it's going to be fun.
Coach, a lot of your wins have been nail biters over time. What does it feel like to have one that had a decent spread where you kind of knew what was going to happen?
I didn't. Glad you guys enjoyed it. I was, sitting there. I thought we were going to have to grind out some timeout. They were going to use the timeouts a little differently there at the end, so we were prepared to do what we had to do. But really, unless once we got to a 3-point score or 3-score game, then I knew we had a situation where we were going to have to pretty much blow it if it was going to become a game at all. And I didn't feel that these guys would ever do that. Our defense started playing well. It's fun because I think they kind of had that killer mentality. That when Jared hit that big long run, that was a pretty impressive play call and series overall. We are bowl eligible. Yeah, I'm glad it is, just because Mark Torresani, my director of ops, has been with me since the get-go, since I became head coach, and he's been working with administration. Once we got close, they started meeting, and he knows not to talk to me about it. Like I just do not talk about a bowl until we get a bowl. So now it's kind of like that elephant has left the room. We can actually speak about what we might have to do and how we can do it. So it's good for us. It's good for our program to have 2 straight years in a row to go to a bowl. Personally, I never had that before where I didn't, so I know how to use our time when we can use our young players now. I can kind of set up a practice schedule around, regardless of what bowl we're going to. At least I know I have postseason play.
It seems like Dan is getting his weapons back.
Yeah. He's so engaged with the game plan during the course that he very rarely looks up. He wanted to be down in the field, which I was fine with, and then he just amazes me. I have people looking out for him because he kind of just walks around down there with his nose in that play sheet. But has great composure. I think our players really respect what he does. I think our coaches really respect how he calls a game. I'm just, again, once more, just more impressed. He gets stronger with every game.
To get 2 in a row against LSU, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I think coming into this league, you knew LSU and Alabama had combined for a majority of the conference titles. It was ironic the way the game, my first year for Auburn to win it and go play in a national championship game, and to get them this year and kind of see where we're at and where some of those other programs were at 3 years ago. And it gets you excited about what we're doing, and we'll be able to sell that in recruiting big.
It didn't look like you overloaded the box, but you still stopped.
Yeah, we didn't. What we emphasized, we had tackle circuit every day. We did it in 2 phases of each practice. Thought Rob and the staff had a good idea. They modified our tackle circuit to make sure that we ensured the ball was going east and west. Fournette is very good once he gets his shoulders downhill. And we felt even if it took him 8 yards to run sideways before he turned downhill, we would get better people in position. And that's kind of the way it worked out, And I give a lot of credit to our guys to bow up. And that kid's a man now. He's a very good player. And again, we'll face him again next year.
A lot of 5-2 personnel, 5 D linemen, 2 linebackers. Is that countering what LSU does, or is that you getting the best of it?
Well, no, it was actually 4 D linemen and a D lineman that was playing linebacker. Rossler, number 96. We've been using him a little bit at Sam, so we lost Josh Williams, who broke his leg, who was our starting Sam. We put in Dwayne Eugene, who broke his wrist. last week during practice, so we weren't able to share that with you guys. So now I had no Sam linebackers because we had moved our other Sam linebacker, Kalia Hackett, over to play Will because we didn't have any more Will linebackers. So we put him in at Sam, and he did a pretty nice job today when he was in there.
Coach Brandon Allen had another big game. Walk us through what he did well tonight.
You know, I think he did two things well. He did what we asked him to do. Well, you know, he just lines up. He gets the guys in the right calls at the line of scrimmage. There was an unbelievable play where he re-ID'd the mic that ended up being a huge first down conversion that your average Joe isn't going to be able to do. He took it down to 1 second and got it flipped, which was, you just don't do that. I mean, he's pretty great at that. And then the second thing he's really done a nice job, in my opinion, of making the other players around him play better. You know, he's gotten guys to step up. Dominic Reed, I mean, that's a lot of quarterback influence that is making those guys go out and do what they do.
For Jared to be a hometown kid,
Yeah.
in his home state, how nice is that?
It was cool. Jared Cornelius, right? Yeah. Jared is, any of you that have interviewed him, is the greatest kid on this. Just, he's always got a smile. He's personality. He's unbelievably talented, very intelligent. He's, him and, that year we brought 4 guys in the same class from Louisiana. We got 2 from Shreveport, from Evangel, and 2 from Rummel. Those guys, today was a big day for him, you know. And then also DeMarcus Hodge from Monroe. I let him be a captain today, and that he was absolutely just glowing ear to ear. So it's kind of fun to see these Louisiana guys have a little bit of success.
What's the last month of the process been like for you guys to get these 4 wins together?
What's it been like? It's just a daily grind, you know. It's fun. It's what it is. You know, I always go back to that quote when I got into coaching. If you just says choose a job you love, you never work a day in your life. And I really, even after the losses, I mean, I was mad and I was angry and as you know, probably had a long face, but I love every minute of my job. It's absolutely awesome to be able to do that and have an effect on kids and people, and to go to the radio show on Thursday night and see all those people mob Drew Morgan and Cody Walker. I mean, two kids that have persevered as good as anybody. To see BA get the awards last week. You know, there's just so many great stories around our program that I think people pull for our kids, you know, regardless of what they may think of me or what I'm all about. Our kids, man, if you interview them, you can't help but love them. And I think that goes a long way.
Did you hear about the skirmish that happened with Tretola and the LSU players?
I heard briefly, yeah. Sebastian has a routine that he locks into. We do have a captain's walk, which is usually outside, and then he just kind of gets in his own little zone. He sings to himself, which I'm not sure what he's saying or what the songs are, but it gets him ready. And I was told he was minding his own business, but that's going to happen, you know, if you're out there and they want to do certain things. I was told Sebastian handled it very, very well, so that's all that matters.
You're proud of the kids. You said, how about those defensive coaches who've been beat up a little bit lately to do what they do?
It was great. I know it meant a lot to Rob, to Clay, to Rory, to Vernon. They were locked into it, you know, and just the competitiveness that I have on our staff. You know, I always press our guys. You know, a lot of my coaches will say, I'm hard on them in a way that I just challenge them to be their best every day. I mean, every day in my meetings, I'll just say, what can you do better today? I'll point out someone, hey, what can you do today better in your meeting? What can you do better day in practice? What can you do in your fundamental period to be better? I really try to challenge our coaches because the number one deterrent to success in life, in my opinion, is human nature. Once you have a little bit of success, people just naturally feel that you should be satisfied, you know, and I laid into them hard Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning was a really difficult day for me because I don't like being like that, but I laid into them as hard as I've laid into them this year. And it was it was early morning, and it wasn't everybody wanted to hear, but I'm glad I did it now.
Couple more. Is it nice to know that you're going to have the boot back in favor?
Boot, yeah, boot. Not just for me. I mean, people freak out around that boot, man. It's awesome, David. Appreciate it once again. We might have to bring you back in, tap out, and come in. But I'm not kidding. That boot, when people are in our facility, it's like, you know, it's like they're seeing something well, maybe they are seeing it for the first time. We haven't had it a lot, but. The power of that thing, and our players really respond to that. I was watching how they commented about it, how we commented about it. We had it out every day for practice. We wanted our kids to touch it, feel it. It sits right on their way in the locker room. The only time that it'll ever move is when we get an SEC championship title or trophy, because that's where it's going to go.
Any more?
Is Eugene,
Last one.
is he out for a while?
You know, he was actually out there today, Bob. He didn't travel with us. Oh yeah, he did. No, he didn't travel with us last week. He had surgery. He broke it last Tuesday, I guess. Had surgery Wednesday. We didn't travel him last week, and then this week, I knew it was going to be hard to keep him out. You know, he's from Rummel, a great program in downtown New Orleans, and I knew it was going to take a lot to keep him off our roster. He changed the cast Tuesday to Wednesday, and we let him come out. I don't know if he took a rep out there today. He was our backup, Sam, and then also quite a few spots on special teams. But I think he just, it's kind of like what Cody's was, but you know, Cody was a back, so you can't really play with it like that. But Andre, as a defense player, could play.
Feel like you won the line.
Do we feel like we won the line? You mean the O-line, D-line, not the line in Vegas? Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch that line. I do think we won it up front. I challenged our guys. You know, with the yards that Alex gained, even though the one big one, I thought this game, LSU and Arkansas should traditionally get down to who plays well up front, who capitalizes on big plays.